What's going on, y'all? It's been a minute. Been grinding. Um, I was thinking the other day, and I wanted to present y'all with some information. Um, I want to talk about libraries. And before you cut the channel, before you change the channel, hear me out. Hear me out. Um, I think a lot of times the library is a great resource tool for us to get different items, and we don't even realize it. I was trying to think of different ways I could incorporate it into this video. I got a couple ideas, but one of the first things that I thought about uh, was was what is it? What was this called? Silent Library. I don't know if y'all remember that show. It's a show where the people had to be quiet. People had to be quiet, and it had competition or contests in there where they get beat up, slapped around, and stuff like that. Little stupid stuff, little jokes. But the goal was not to laugh. Um, the goal was not to laugh during the show and to earn money or whatever. So this is the celebrity version of it or whatnot. Of course it's MTV product. So of course you don't want to get no strikes on that and stuff like that. But because I'm doing a lot of different stuff with YouTube, other social medias, and what it just had me thinking from a news standpoint, a news, broadcast, television, media, or whatnot, it made me really think about how we're taking advantage of the time and what we do and what's the best way to do it in the way that I'm more of a long form person, but the way that YouTube is moving and evolving, of course they got the shorts in there now. So you're trying to think like is shorts the way that people want to go? I've heard divided thoughts on that, and that's one to think about. But also like what is the way that your channel's gonna go? How are you gonna make it move? So that's something to think about. Um, as far as how we're doing it. So I thought this was funny. This is with Jimmy Fallon and the Roots. Of course, I'm a big Roots fan. Um, yeah, the Roots was my group. It was my group. I used to jam to them all the time. Coming to break you off. That used to be my coming to break you off. Yeah, yeah, that used to be my cut. Um, but but so they did that. So I thought that was an interesting and funny part about it. But I think as we're thinking about how can we properly utilize the resource available to us, and the fact is this like because I mean I don't know if y'all even know, but I'm saying there was a library with Alexander the Great. So if you know about Alexander the Great, so it's not just that he was a soldier and he was doing this stuff like that, and then he was trying to fight in the Mesopotamia and stuff like that. But if you know history, then you know great um, there was a great library called the Library of Alexandria, which was burned. It was burned. They burned the whole thing down, but some stuff was saved or whatever. I think it was with the Romans. They helped burn it. But you have to think like this is. But you have to think like the teacher of, because I was studying this too. But I knew it before, but I studied just to get more in depth on it. But that was where Socrates, Plato, and Aristotle. So those were the teachers of the teacher who ended up teaching Aristotle. Of course, Socrates taught Plato, Plato taught Aristotle, Aristotle taught Alexander, and I believe that's the order of it. Um, but that's just something to think about in how we have the visibility when you go into a library to gather all these books and gather all this information where you could be like, okay, let me use this information to study whatever I'm trying to study, to grow in a particular area, autobiographies of different individuals, and whatnot in specific areas. You could choose four core areas. I know a lot of different speakers talk about that, four different core areas within business of some of the greatest books. choose a certain number of books, however number, to learn about some of the core functions within a business. Then those can help you to expedite you in doing it. But for me personally, I am a person who likes to listen to a video is the way I consume information the best. I do audio's cool because I'll walk and I'll listen to it. So I try to multitask it, but books, reading books are good, but I prefer it in a quiet environment, and I also prefer it with audio or video, so I could go along with it. And I feel like the best way for me to study and retain the information is to go ahead and go through it with where I could have the video still playing, where the video or the audio is still playing. So if I get tired, then it still pushes me through it. Like I'm trying. So instead of me trying to read at whatever pace I read at, so I hear it and I try to keep pace with whatever the audio is going. Also, what I want to think about is how can we utilize the time and space. I don't know if you when y'all could see the clip. So this is the clip from Doctor Strange, and this is when he went into the astrophysics area. I think I'm saying that correctly, where he was meditating and booking his sleep. So you must say like, I can't meditate in no book and sleep. Yes, you can't, but you can. In a sense that, so I'm a big proponent in my studies. I know that one thing you want to do is you want to stop eating and drinking after a certain point in time so you can get as much hours of rest as you can. Like try to get your 8 hours of sleep. But then also like it's weird what's been happening. But I've been thinking and just thinking about business so much that I literally wake up thinking about business, and I have different business ideas. And then some of the first things I do is I jot down my ideas, um or whatever, and I said like, okay, that's a good idea, okay, that's what we're going to do, this how we're going to implement this, and stuff like this. And I feel like this may be the case with some other people too, just depending on what you feel in your mind, what you and then what you dream about, what you think about, what you try to figure out, how can you implement, you try to create a solution for it. It may be for some people, maybe not for other people or whatnot, but that's some things I've been thinking about. and and the thing that I love about the library is that you go there. So like when I'm talking about business stuff like that. So some of the books that I'm reading or whatnot, you know, business models and stuff like that. I know a lot of stuff about business already anyway, but this is just more stuff to get me thinking about okay, how can I, what's the best business model? How can I implement it? Will make the most sense? Is there different things that I'm not thinking about? How can I get in contact with a tax strategist and figure out what to do? I'm contacting my, my, I'm contacting my people regarding my IRS and stuff like that. So I'm doing all those different things. So these are some of the steps that I'm taking as I'm gaining the information and I'm finding out ways that I could do it. And like a lot of times when I'm before I go to sleep, I might be up with a book reading, like Contagious. I'm reading now. I've read The Richest Man in Babylon. I read summaries, and this is a thought of it. So I heard somebody say before they only like to read chapters and sections, and I feel like I'm starting to get into that point where I'll rather read chapters and sections just so I could get a good gauge of what's going on versus me reading the versus me reading reading the whole book or whatnot. But it's because like some of the information is now becoming redundant. Although some of the stuff I might, if I read it, I still might get a glimmer of other little nuggets and stuff that I could apply. So that I think that's kind of what happened. So now I'm just trying to get a general sense of it. Okay, like is there something in this book that I could gauge more for? And I guess that really depends on how well they do the summary or what they cover in the summary, because every summary is not going to be the same. Even if you try to get a summary from AI or whatnot, the summary may be different. So that's something to think about. Some more books I've been reading on entrepreneurship, getting more in depth and development in that. And as we're going through it, so I'm also thinking about the exit plan of the business and whatnot. And that's another thing I want to say too. Just don't think from only a social media YouTube perspective. Think about it from okay, how can I make this a business? How can I take it off the app so I'm not reliable on the app or anything else? Or would I need a web page? Is it going to be a brick and mortar? And I feel like brick and mortar, I'm less apt to for that. But it depends on what it is, and if different things are going to come into place, that'll make all the difference as far as how it goes regarding that. If you're going to do a brick and mortar, if things like that. So that's something that I'm thinking about too. So that's funny. I say brick and mortar, but now online. I can't say it enough because you have e-product. You could have a product online, templates, books, vlogs, blogs. You could do all different type of things. And like the thing that is, you create one, you could sell it to many. So that's one of the perspectives. But you do not have this if you have not researched and looked and seen how can you implement those different things. So that kind of does it. And then also, so we're also thinking about mergers and acquisitions. How can we merge stuff? How can we acquiesce what we're going to do, and see what would be the best to get it. Okay, is there a business that would be more suitable, that we could acquiesce, or you get as acquisition, and what will make more sense, and what is the direction that the business wants to grow in? Is something taking us out the way, and is that part of our long-term goal? Is it the best way that we use our funds? Where are we going with that? So those are some of the things that we're thinking and we're taking into consideration. And then also, of course, funding a new business. So a new business enterprise, depending on different areas that you're going in. So those are just some of the things that I'm thinking about, as we're doing it, as we're implementing it, and trying to figure out what's the best way to go. But and then I had one more clip that I did want to show you. And this one would be this was, I thought, was a great one from the past that I heard long time ago. Um, Time Bottoms, Basic Economics, and I thought it was really well broken down. Um, if you could apply skills in one area, why can't you apply it in another area? I'll play a little bit of that for you.
Now, lyrically, my game is nice. I can steal a rhyme without your mind and sell it back to you for half price. I might even do it twice. Cause see, I spit precise, powerfully poem paragraphs that'll penetrate the pituitary gland and make your mind expand. Make you understand there's a very so hot between slinging rock and trading stock. See, this basic economics. Buy low, sell high. Your price determines where demand meets supply. See, most of us don't want to admit it or even hear it, but see, being a drug dealer is the epitome of the entrepreneurial spirit. See, capitalism breeds capitalists. So if there's demand for a product, best believe somebody gonna supply it. See, they got the right mind, just the wrong grind. Cause see, really, even Eli Lilly sell drugs of all kinds. We don't have to worry about packing nines who's tapping their phone line because they got politics and public opinion on their side. See, the only way to survive in this society is to have a hustle mentality. See, as long as you're working for your money and your money's not working for you, you'll forever be a slave. Bill Gates did not stack all that cake just sitting around waiting for a promotion to raise it. Now he got the whole game on lock and he ain't.
And so yes and no, yes and no. So not getting too much into the drugs section or part of it or whatever. But it's so funny that Bill Gates actually has gone into pharmacy more, and also purchasing a lot of land on the west side of the U.S. But also too, in my research and endeavors that we're looking into it, we're looking to that. So a lot of the organizations, the CEOs of companies, they're looking to take smaller packages from the organization they work for, whether it be $1, or they're keeping it under 70, 80, 100,000, so they can keep it under a certain metric so that they can end up paying in a different tax bracket, which brings us back to our tax strategies and things like that. So those are just different things that we're thinking about, and we're taking in consideration that we want to bring to your thoughts, so you can think about those too. But I just wanted to share that information, so that you're aware of that. All right, I wish you all the best.